Now let's look at sprinklers and the codes. In other words, what you can get out of the codes by putting sprinklers in. What are the benefits to your clients? Now first of all, let's look at sprinklers in approved document B. Now, sprinkler protection can be used sometimes as a compensatory feature where the provisions of the approved document B are varied in some way. Now, where they are provided, it is normal practice to provide sprinkler protection throughout the whole building. However, where the sprinklers are being installed as a compensatory feature to address a specific risk or hazard, it may be acceptable to protect only that part of the building. That's an approved document B. What that basically means is that if you don't want to sprinkle the whole building, you don't necessarily have to. Residential sprinklers, you can put them in areas just where the risk is. And I think that's very reasonable. To allow a trade-off in some area where you're not fully complying with building regulations or you're going away from approved document B, if you put sprinklers in, you can consider that you don't have to put them everywhere. And I think that's a really good point to put there. Now, what standard is specified for residential sprinklers? Well, for dwellings and residential buildings, you use BS 9251, which is the sprinkler systems for residential and domestic occupancies, and this ties in with DD 252 for the components. Now, generally, the specification is limit for residential buildings is 20 metres. That is general in the guidance in the DD. However, approved document B says that sprinklers need only be provided within the individual flats. They are not required in the common areas such as the stairs, the corridors or the landings. What they're saying is these should be sterile areas anyway. They're not the risk areas. And this is a very important statement. For the purposes of this paragraph, the limit on the scope of BS 9251/2005 below 20 metres in height can be ignored. In other words, in a way they've overridden the British stand by saying we will accept that you can still put residential sprinklers in even if the building's got a floor height over 20 metres, which again is reasonable because what they're saying is they want these sprinklers to be put in residential buildings. Now, for non-residential buildings or dwellings, you say which are outside the scope of BS 9251, you can either meet BS 5306 Part 2 or the new one, because BS 5306 is going, it's BS EN 12845/2004. And that includes the relevant hazard classifications together with the special requirements for life safety systems. So that's what we're moving to, a European standard. Now, I'd like to point out that any sprinkling system installed to satisfy the requirements of Part B of building regulations should be regarded as a life safety system. That's a statement, again, in approved document B. We'll come on to the impact of BS shortly. Now, other trade-offs in approved document B. Shop store rooms, then. What can they allow? Now, fully enclosed walk-in storerooms in shops, unless they are provided with an automatic fire detection and alarm system or sprinklers, so if you put sprinklers in, should be separated from the retail areas with fire-resisting construction if they are sited so as possibly to prejudice the means of escape. So you put sprinklers in, you don't have to do this with the shop storerooms. Again, additional options of providing sprinkler protection and or a protected stairway instead of an alternative escape route has been included for flats with more than one storey. So flats with more than one storey, you put a sprinkler system in or a protected stairway instead of having an alternative escape route. So again, that's another benefit of putting sprinklers in.